Hello, Tarmo Urb. Can you please describe what you do, who you are? In Estonia, you are a very well-known singer with your brother, but in the world, you are known as a healer. Can you explain what is it you do?
That's exactly what I do. Our songs also are considered healing entities because everything is vibrational. And as a healer, I call myself a vibrational plumber. More or less, it's all vibrational harmonizing of disharmonious entities. What is good music? Harmony, right? That's why people love it. That's why it does good things. And the same is healing, you know? And you can heal on the distance, just like music can heal on the distance. That's what I do, yeah. People will come with their own problems or problems of their families, sometimes problems of their businesses, sometimes problems of their lands, because everything needs healing, everything can be healed. And just stick to the true nature of things and don't let the artificial world come in and ruin the harmony. You know, because artificial world is getting very strong now. Also artificial intelligence is coming in. Everybody thinks it's really cool. No, it's not. What's wrong with your own brains? Why do you need something artificial to come and think for you? You know? You know? It's better to have sex than to watch two robots having sex. It's better to have that glass of wine yourself, you know, in the world. What's wrong with the real, natural, beautiful, harmonious world, you know?
I want to talk about UFOs because UFOs are hitting tabloids. Trump is promising secret files, and some say that extraterrestrials are freaking out over our nuclear toys and weapons. So, what do you say? Are we alone?
Of course not. Of course not. All the universe is one big family, actually, you know. And the fact that people have fallen out of knowledge for a few thousand years during the Kali Yuga and stuff, that doesn't mean that knowledge has stopped to exist. Knowledge and wisdom has always existed, and it doesn't depend whether we know it or not. It still is there. It's our own limitations that we get caught up in, you know, that finally just lure us off the path, you know. You remember the movie Lord of the Rings, remember? What Sauron did? Sauron made one more ring that ruled them all. What is this magic Sauron's ring right now on the planet Earth that has screwed up everybody's minds, heads, education, truth, attitudes, and everything? What is it? Numbers.
You're referring to money.
Exactly. Everything is now talked in the terms of money. How much war costs and how much does it bring back? How much we earn from the peace? No war is more profitable. Let's keep the war going on. Two most inexpensive things on the planet Earth right now are human life and money. They cost nothing. There are people living for the sake of $1 a day, and there are people who have $100 billion, and it's not enough. You know, somebody has a little more stuff. We are caught up in the trap of the money, of the numbers. Once we get rid of this, we can get back to the real truth, which has nothing to do with numbers. Arabs invented numbers. Aliens didn't. There is energy, there is vibrations. This is where the truth itself is. This is where the information is stored, you know, in a vibration. Universe is all vibrational. Healing is all vibrational. You should know that, you know. It's nothing to do with numbers. Oh, yeah, costs $10. That's the number there. but you heal a system, energetical, vibrational system. You restore the harmony in it. That's the power, For as long as you are caught up in wrong values of existence, you will never have your power because you're being stupid. This is where it all begins. De-stupefy yourself.
De-stupefy yourself. So what are the main things we can actually do to do it? What would be like the simplest way to de-stupefy ourselves?
The main thing is to wish and not to be afraid to de-stupefy yourself. People get comfortable of being slaves of something. It's more comfortable because it's already organized for them. It's unpleasant, but it's safe. That's how the trap works. Look, all the young people today, since they are born, they are being trained by their own parents and school and everybody to train and learn to become a better slave to somebody. A few thousand years ago, being a slave was the biggest tragedy that could happen to anybody. Right now, all the schools, universities, and everybody's training us to become a good slave to somebody who will pay us more than the other slave owner, right? So we are programmed from the very beginning to give away our power. It's like taxes. You pay all the money away and then the government will give you some back. It's the same thing, numbers.
Yes, so you said we need to acknowledge that we are slaves.
Not all of us, but most of us, yes.
So first of all, we need to notice where we are the slaves or what
No, first of all, we need to realize that maybe it's even better not to be a slave. To be a slave is safe. You are guaranteed food, shelter, temporary food, temporary shelter, temporary health, temporary peace. All is temporary. You have to keep paying like a taxi all the time to keep it going. That's what numbers are. Completely be free. Let's go back to Matrix. The movie Matrix was a documentary. It was not, it's all there. Yeah. To be completely free is, to destroy the Sauron's ring first. Liberate people, liberate their minds. Otherwise, they will always think as slaves,
I see where you're going and I see what you're explaining, but if somebody's listening right now, what would be the steps to really make, because, okay, they see, I want to be free.
Yeah.
Is there anything practical or some simple steps they could take to really, really free themselves?
Yeah, true. People just need to think about it. People should learn to think themselves, not to receive the information from the media and from somebody else's already pre-arranged for them information. That's what it's called, meditation. Open up, look straight up to the universe and ask the universe to talk to you directly. Information comes and then you can decide whether this information is too much for you or it's liberating. A lot of people, you release the sheep from the barn, 6 o'clock p.m., they'll be back at the barn. Although you gave them freedom, they choose to come back. They're sheep, And people have been turned into the sheep and slaves long ago. It's going to change, but it'll take generations if we last as a species on this planet for another 100 years.
So we should realize that all the answers are inside of us. We just need to ask the questions.
All the answers are available. Inside, outside, doesn't matter. It's all the same big fabric of universe. Human life, human incarnations to me is just Shakespeare. You are born to play that role. This time you are fat and ugly. Next time you're slim and beautiful, Play your role well, being who you are. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Allow that yourself of you to lead you down that river, which we all are rivers, flowing, effortlessly, or we have dams built, and sometimes we have waterfalls and Sometimes we are slow and curvy. That's all life. No life is straight. No answer is final. Universe is playful. Play. Don't be afraid to play.
Your documentary came out and it's just mind-blowing. It's one of the best documentaries I have ever seen.
That's a compliment to the guy who made it.
Yes, but your story is truly incredible. And who doesn't know about Soviet Union, it gives a very interesting insight to it and the life you lived with your brother. And you've gone through life like chaos, and you came out of the chaos. And your documentary proves it. So for someone who is listening and really feeling stuck in their lives, what are your practices or truths that really helped you through these hard times, and how to come through this stuckness or this something that is holding them back smoothly?
My first poem that I wrote in the first jail where I was taken, I wrote that I hope that this beast who just swallowed me also shits. Because if your path flows through the difficulties, wars, revolutions, hardships and everything, but you have faith that your path, it's not some punishment or accident, it's your path, then you flow through the intestines of that beast too, and you get like pooped out on the other side, And without that faith that that is your destiny, it would be difficult to be there. Thousands of people, millions of people will remain there, stay there. They get digested by that beast. You have to know that that is your path. You get in, you get out. That is the next thing waiting for you. Your river flows through difficulties. It's never just only beautiful. And if you accept this as your path, then you don't stress about it as much. You start becoming inventive. How to survive it better? What is there to learn from it? Only in the biggest difficulties in life you can discover your real potential. I started healing in jail because suddenly I was put in a situation where otherwise the guy next to you dies. It's Friday night and the doctor comes maybe Monday noon. Meanwhile, this guy would be cold. So, I used and saved few lives there and stuff, where people get beaten to pulp and you put their kidneys back into the right places and stuff. So you discover yourself in the difficulties better than, in a just ordinary peaceful life. And if you are a person of mission, then universe gives you opportunities to test that mission and to hone your potential. That's how I saw it. I asked the spirits, why am I in jail? First time. And spirits said that Soviet jails have no church. You should teach these poor bastards. So I said, you sent me to work. I'm on a mission. Okay, no problem. It's going to be ugly, but fruitful. So I went there and, a lot of guys don't commit crimes anymore. A lot of them even stopped smoking in jail. So if you see it in a good way, it's like, it's raining outside. Some people say, oh, it's raining. Some people say, wow, it's raining. It's the same rain. It's your attitude that changes the color of that rain and the smell, And if you're positive by nature, then everything is positive. You can see everything in a positive key.
This is a very simple thing to actually do, to just change your perspective and thoughts about something.
But simplicity is the key to everything.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned the spirits. Who are those spirits? And can everybody talk to the spirits? And if yes, then how?
I think so. I think children do. Animals do. These are the bodiless spirits. When we die, then first of all we become a bodiless spirit. Our body gets buried or whatever. And that bodiless spirit continues their reincarnations. So these could be even people, who you've met in your previous incarnations. And because they don't have any bodily restrictions, they see everything that human eye does not see. That's why sometimes people, they get into that state of mind when spirits talk through them, or channelers, whatever. Because spirits, they live in a different world of restrictions. They see further. And sometimes all it takes is that your microscope or your telescope just gets a notch further or notch deeper, and you already see things that others don't. Your inner eye sees the dimensions that others don't see, or maybe don't see yet. That's all it takes. Truth is always there. It's always available. And you don't need advice from the other planets, other planetary systems. It's all the same thing. Do you know what universe consists of that the scientists still don't understand? No. Universe consists of sense of humor. The biggest gurus, the biggest teachers, the biggest wisdom guys, they all have great sense of humor. Have you noticed?
I have noticed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is where it becomes from. Don't take anything too seriously. Allow the playfulness of the universe to play along and play along with it. Everybody who gets too fanatical about something is already suspicious. And there are a lot of people right now ruling the world who actually are schizophrenic. But the problem is that schizophrenics have no capability of dialogue. They only have their own monologue. And therefore, they come across so convincing that everybody thinks, oh my God, he must know what he's talking about. Nut houses are full of these guys, But sometimes the schizophrenics come to the place in the governments or wherever, they lead millions of people into death after them because they are so convinced of their own vision, and nobody dares to control their mental state, Some prime ministers, some Hitlers, whoever's others, they just make the whole nations march into the perdition because they think that they are right. But actually, they're sick people. We should learn to question that too. Authorities above us,
Okay, I want to go back a little to the governments. It's quite hard to do it with humor, but I will try. In our discussion, you said governments deserve their mess. Fair enough. But for the rest of us tired of their games, what's the boldest move we can make today to seize control of our lives and bend reality to our will, no matter what they do up there?
We cannot bend reality, but we can change the reality. Bent reality is still the same reality, but in a different position. It's Kama Sutra of the world. But, it's the same thing. Again, we first of all, what people need to stop being afraid. Everybody's afraid, if I say this, something will happen. Even in Estonia, it's our country now and free as if, but people are talking about some things in whisper. What's wrong with you? Why are you afraid to be truthful? Children are truthful. Grown-ups are cautious. Once you become politically correct, you are screwed.
Also, you have mentioned that there is another side to it. People who start to connect to the spirits, to the nature, they can also go to the flip side of it. Can you open up more about it? Because there is also an unhealthy side to being like a psychic or channeling. Can you talk a little more about these dangers that people might come into contact with?
It's the same thing again, Not everybody is supposed to be a psychic. Not everybody can be a healer. Yes, all the women can be healers to the people who they love, to their children, to their loved ones. But to take on completely unknown other person's destiny and change it because you think that you can do a better job, it's not so easy. It's a huge responsibility. And we know that, road to hell is paved with good wishes, You tried as better. A lot of times, there is one thing that no healer, no psychic is really protected from, and that's vanity. I've seen many really powerful, wonderful guys go inside out because they fell in love with themselves. Oh God, I'm so awesome. God, I'm awesome. Once you go that way, you're done. Nature never will forgive you. Because, people also kiss my hands and thank me and really profoundly, but they are thanking spirits through me. I'm just a pen in the hands of spirits. They are using this pen to write, but the hand is there. And that's what I told the KGB, when I was interrogated. I said, I am just a tip of the sword. You haven't even seen the whole sword. You haven't seen the hand that holds it. You haven't seen the guy in the saddle of this horse. You are fighting a hopeless fight. Soviet Union will fall. There is no chance that you will stay because you're just only seeing the very tip of that sword. And that's exactly what happened. The same information is written about the rest of the countries, everything right now too. But people don't want to know the truth. The prophecies have been around for thousands of years. Everything they've said so far has come true. When will we learn to read and when will we learn to believe that these people thousands of years ago saw truth already then? Right?
So is there maybe like a common fear or a belief in people that they cannot open up to the truth or this kind of sense of seeing what is really happening?
Greed is blinding people, and blind person refuses. It's more comfortable to be greed blindy. They refuse the light because it's not comfortable. Imagine, it's all written. The same song, John Lennon, Imagine, it's all there in few words. But who would agree today, tell Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or these guys that, we get rid of the money tomorrow and you will be like all of us. What? What about my $500 million yacht and my $700 million airplane and this and that and that? What? Equal with you? No. I better let the world go to hell. But for as long as I'm alive, I'm rich, and then we all die. And there is no sequel. This Sauron's ring is really powerful. It's powerful.
So let's be playful and let's imagine if the greed would go away and everybody on this planet Earth right now would decide that we get rid of this greed and this fear, what would happen?
I think that this is the planet where all these problems are meant to be. There are other planets without these problems. This is a particular planet where we are all sent to taste shit, where we are sent here to learn to play. Difficulties and things are also part of our blessing and our learning process. You don't learn in school, because in school you learn only mediocrity from your mediocre teacher. Who had a mediocre teacher too, Where you really learn is you, yourself, from the universe. And for these few really enlightened people around us, you can learn. All the knowledge is inside you already, but somebody helps you to connect to it. I've always known this. How come I didn't know it yesterday? Knowledge has not disappeared anywhere. It's not a privilege of only few people. Everybody has an access to a certain level of their knowledge that is meant for them.
Can we go back to the world leaders, because it's a very hot topic right now?
Whatever your question is about any war, any revolution, any big topic and problem, always follow the money. Don't follow the personalities, follow the money. Who pays for it and who benefits from it? Who finances the war and why? Okay, we gave them 100 billion, we want back 500 billion. It's all about money, not people. When I was in Los Angeles, my Jewish friend from Kiev told me when all this war started between Russia and Ukraine, and he said, who are they going to kill? Russians and Ukrainians have been intermarried for centuries. They all are married to each other. They have each other's children and grandchildren. It's nothing to do with people. It's always to do with money. Follow the money. That's why the Sauron's ring comes again. Follow the money. Now, no, let's not make peace. Let's continue fighting. Somebody's making a lot of money. That should stop, you know. All the world wars are about money. Leaders, yes, among the leaders today, there are several people who are actually schizophrenics. They are mentally incapable people. The same Joe Biden, now it's legal that for last 2 years he had no idea what he was talking about. No. They got their own Brezhnev there, and behind this their own Brezhnev's back they could do all these war atrocities. Somebody that is making a lot of money, somebody that is stealing a lot of money. It's all about money. And people have forgotten that money is just a concept. You can take away or add 2, 3 zeros to it, and everything changes suddenly. It's just a concept, you know. But that concept has turned all the world crazy. That's simple. The happiest people, if you go travel the world, are the people who don't even have a money concept. They eat what they have and they live like they are and they're happy. You know? Numbers are killing. Numbers are a program. It's programming. There is no playfulness left. Once you don't do tango with a glass of wine and a rose in your teeth, you're screwed. You're a slave of numbers.
You see their problems, you're a seer, you're a healer, you see the vibration, you see what's happening energetically. What could be healed or changed so they could lead with their hearts and with a clear mind?
Everything. First of all, you know, it's just certain things should be removed. I mean, money is certainly a practical thing, and in the beginning it was meant pretty well, you know, when it started. But then it took over. And like medicine should be removed completely from money. Art should be removed completely from money. Healing. What is left then? You know, production, whatever. Take 3 of your most beautiful words that you like most. Love, beauty, healing, freedom, and add the word business to it. What do you get? Love business, prostitution. Healing business, you know, chemical super companies poisoning everything and everybody because they hate healthy people. Healthy person is a lost client for them, you know. Beauty business, this business, that business. As soon as you add the business, it loses its value, true value, you know, but gets price to it, you know. That's the difference. So it's again our choices. We should not be afraid to dream because dreams come true. You dream the world and it becomes what you dreamt because our thought energy is what actually reforms and creates our environment. I can only speak about the world as a healer. There is a lot to heal. There are whole battlefields that could be healed where even grass is not growing today. There are a lot of fields that Monsanto has poisoned completely. Nothing is growing anymore. You know, it all can be healed. It all can be energetically transformed. Not artificially, no, energetically, vibrationally. recoded, repurposed. But that is only in condition that they don't keep poisoning anymore. Otherwise, you clean it and they pour new poison there, The world needs to just change their value system. What is it that really is good in this world? And what is bad in this world? Let's not do the bad anymore. Let's switch onto the good, And it's not even that difficult. If mankind today would come to the consensus, let's return back to the Garden of Eden, we would be there in 5-6 years. But everybody has to agree.
So for any leader listening out there, what could be the steps or the quiet steps even to take to make this vision happen?
The only leader that really could do something about it, who is listening right now, is God. And I hope he undertakes something. All the rest of the leaders are dependent on the banks and the other organizations who have put them to power. They are really not the real leaders, They are just spokespeople for those who really rule the world right now. The spokespeople for Sauron, more or less.
You spoke about dreaming. What are you dreaming about? What are your dreams?
I cannot describe the dreams, in terms of like things or stuff. It's a dream state. It's a vibrational bliss that you enter. And around you, you suddenly notice that good things start happening. Animals come to you, birds fly on your shoulder, flowers pop up in the middle of the winter, suddenly sun comes out, You do things that create goodness around you and inside you, You can even return your aging. If you think about it, you eat some garbage, you can recode the food in your belly into something good. It's all doable. Simply nobody teaches us, nobody gives us idea. Everybody's like, no, you pay me, I take care of it. Service. Everybody services you whether you want or not. That's how governments live. If people were self-sustainable and independent, we would not have no governments. Nobody would need them.
So is there anything you can teach us right now so everybody can do with us something very practical? Because you said so many phenomenal things that I think many people want to experience, but...
Don't let anything spoil your day. Cheerfulness is the mother of healing. Cheerfulness and sense of humor is the mother of happiness and healing. That's what God expects from us. Be cheerful and happy all the time. Let nobody tell you that's impossible. No, it's possible. It comes of you. And that's what you spread around you, And the more it spreads, the more the darkness has to disappear somewhere. We live in a dual world. We need light and darkness to play each other. But again, to dance tango with each other. Not that one thing kills another, It should be in harmony. It's all about harmony. And everybody can dream. Don't be afraid to dream. If you don't dream, there is nothing to come true in your life. You need to dream. And dreams can come true. And if they don't come through you, then through your children, through somebody that suddenly go, oh, wow, That's all it takes to begin with,
Tarmo, you talk about healing. Can we heal the world?
Sure, of course. We can heal the world, but everybody needs to agree that they want to be healed and the world needs to be healed. We were in Brazil with my brother performing on Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit in early 90s. And there was the chief Yanomami with his shamans from the rainforest. And we instantly clicked with the shamans. They recognized us immediately and came, The guy was speaking Kayapo, I was speaking Estonian. We understood each other perfectly. And we watched them, how they functioned, what they did there. Little, strong guys with these feathers on their heads. And I asked Pablo, the Kayapo here, medicine man, I asked, you guys are so powerful. Why don't you save the world? What did he say? Nobody asked.
Wow. Wow.
That's simple. Nobody ever asked. Ask us and join us. I cannot heal anybody against their will, but we can heal the world if we decide.
But who has the power to ask? Who has this power?
People must decide collectively that they want to live better and not pay attention to what the governments are forcing them to think. It's all vibrational, the governments to our people. They go to the bathroom, they eat and sleep. They are people too. They come and go. Life as a species, as a human species, is in danger right now. We could decode the poisoned fields. We could decode the poisoned waters. We could decode. All these things are vibrationally codable.
Okay, let's ask directly. What can you do if somebody comes and asks for help?
I will help. Of course. I do that every day. There are very, very few exceptions who I cannot help because they are not supposed to receive help. There are people who deserve their pain, who deserve their suffering. This is when spirits say, this person has been a really bad person, has done horrible things to other people and universe and, all the godly, what we consider sacred, you're not supposed to help them because pain is the only thing, their only teacher, the only thing they believe is their pain. Then I can't help. Basically, there are no incurable diseases. There are only incurable people. Rest of it can be done. And healing can be done not only to people, but to animals, fish, water, trees, soil, air. Everything can be healed. Everything.
But you're saying that if the change doesn't happen in our society and also with money and all the businesses, then it won't last?
Let's say you're a drug addict. You come to me. I clean you up from the residues of all the drugs and all your problems. And then you go home and do the drugs again. You die, right? The same is with Earth. If they keep one side keeps poisoning and the other side keeps cleaning, there is no end result. It's so childishly simple. We need to decide that we all want to get to that next level of this planet where we can start enjoying the better quality of life. Not that 100 people are having better quality of life temporarily and 100 million are dying of poverty, diseases, and the garbage, We need to decide that our DNA, our species as humans, we deserve better life. And it doesn't need to be that everybody becomes, super rich. What is rich anyway? Look at these very rich people, what they do when they finally get all the money in the world. They go to some little village and start living like poor people, happily. Farming their garden, milking their cow, and all of a sudden, what they do. That's the biggest bliss, right? Growing their own oranges and bananas, somewhere, and wow, it's so cool. Yeah, the values are in simplicity, really, and knowledge, truth is in simplicity. Ask children, they'll know. They don't even know what they know, but they know. They are not still separated from the truth. Or animals. Why do we like cats and dogs so much? They don't lie.
Okay, if I ask for help to heal the world, what needs to come together to make it happen?
If you ask, it won't be enough. Because the rest of the world will say, who are you to tell us that we want healing? It needs consensus. People need to decide together. Then it can be done. When we stop poisoning, when we stop killing, there are other ways to do all these things. And yes, maybe when the personal gain is removed from there, we will reinvent the ways to keep our population that much, that will be in a harmony with the rest of the nature around us, that will sustain us, keep us, and feed us, all that stuff. It's all here. It's all so simple, childishly simple. John Lennon again, don't get complicated. I'm a healer. I know other ones, very powerful ones in the rainforest, some in some other places. We can come to help once the decision is made that we want to be healthy. We cannot heal things against the consensus. I cannot even heal people I see on the street. I cannot just go and say, let me heal you. You must ask the right questions, get to the realization and come to you and say, I realized I'm sick. Can you help me? Sure, of course I can help you. Let's do it, And the same is with the world. The world is also a living organism. It's not a thing. It's a living thing. The planet Earth.
What is the quantity of this kind of people who can really help and who are the real healers on the planet?
I don't know. I haven't asked this. When time comes and necessity comes, they'll show up. And it doesn't matter whether you are hearing a mouse or an elephant. It's the same one living being. It's just bigger space. And the same with Earth, I guess. You can cure a mountain or you can cure a bird. Basically, we all are the same. Different vibrational, formulas of the same primary essence, the same primary thing, which is spirit.
Let's go back to the learning part of this planet. You mentioned that there are other realms, other places that are much more positive and maybe this kind of suffering doesn't exist. And here we come to learn and we have many lives. So right now it's very hot topic. People want to know about their previous lives. Is it even needed to know about your previous lives?
If it's justified for your personal growth, then it is. And also as a healer, again, there are people, for example, whose diseases actually stem from their previous life. Like, for example, about 100% of all the people with asthma in their previous incarnation drowned in the water. I removed that past incarnation from them and their asthma is gone in 60 seconds. Right there in front of me. Forever. And there are other things like that, We are not one-dimensional, none of us. We are multidimensional. So previous lives sometimes are important. But sometimes it's better not to know them because this information could be a distraction for focusing to your present, now and here. Then it's better not to know anything. Just focus on where you are right now. Makes you stronger.
How about other realms and all these cosmic beings and cosmic life? Should people dive in there also, or is it just a nice addition?
Why? We have so short time here on this planet. You come here and if you're lucky, you live 100 years, which in cosmos is nothing. After that, you'll be back there again. You can hang there in your bodily form, like another 10,000 years until you get bored and you want to come back onto a planet where something is happening. It's boring to be out there without doing nothing. Boring. Be spiritual. It's fun to come here onto these planets, to fall in love and get disappointed and to dance tango and to swim in the lake,
And eat ice cream.
Eat ice cream. I'm always laughing. These guys in in some cave sitting, with a tongue in the throat and eyes, and they haven't even tasted ice cream. They live for 200 years and then they die. They never lived. Boring. Boring. We don't come here for that.
Yeah, we didn't come here to suffer, yeah?
Not like that. Not like that, This is not a creative suffering anymore. It's the automatic, habitual suffering. That's already stupid, When it's creative, when you read Bhagavad Gita, the armies go against each other and Krishna already has determined who will die anyway and who will live. Other things. Right now, world is showing really, really boring patterns of thinking. Everything is pre-programmed already by people who have no sense of humor, no creativity, really. It's like accountants are programming our life right now.
Well, it seems like our vision is the only way forward, in a sense, to empower individuals to become leaders who themselves create ripple effect of change and collectively transform the world for the.
True, you begin from yourself, become the power and leader of yourself first. Then you can lead others. The best leader is your personal example. I'm telling everybody, Buddha was not a Buddhist. Walk across the water, I don't mind. Make miracles, I don't mind. Don't talk. Act. Learn, develop, grow, empower yourself. Power is available to everybody. This is where you are right. So don't ask for anybody's permission to empower yourself. What is the biggest Kwan in Zen? Fuck it. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't. Take it. Have courage to be yourself. Somebody asked Mahatma Gandhi, how come you're so brave? Because what he went through, And I have been asked the same question. How come you went through all these things alone against KGB and everything? And Mahatma said, you don't need to be brave. You just need to be ready to die for your beliefs. And if you're not afraid to die, then there is nothing else they can scare you with. Everything else is in the hands of Creator.
You just answered my next question. I wanted to ask you if you could zap out one fear of people and replace it with something, then you just read my mind.
Yeah.
What is the simplest way that we can feel our energy?
No, that's a woman's question. How you feel.
And also trust it. Trust your energy and don't listen to the noise and confusion.
Well, that's actually really simple. There are exercises for this in Taoist and Qigong and all these things, the Chinese and Indians and Africans, and they have done this for thousands and thousands, millions of years. It's easy. Again, if you have a question, then you can find the answer. First of all, ask. Don't put your trust into somebody else. Ask. And once you ask, you'll find the teacher, you find the teaching, you find the mechanics, how it works, certain exercises, breathing exercises, all this thing exists. It's invented long ago. Just educate yourself, you pig, Don't just sit and complain. Educate yourself. Educate, dream, and smile. If you create already, negative predisposition to something, you start seeing through this negative filter. Keep your shit filter clean, and you see the beauty in everybody, why they exist, why God put them here. you know. And you can be in harmony and dance with everybody, with everything, especially people with each other. No people want to kill each other. They are taught or conditioned to kill each other for whatever stupid reason. You know, Aborigines, Australian Aborigines, you are the oldest, living culture on planet Earth of human species. For example, there is a law that if two villages, guys are fighting with each other, females can always come and stop the fight and say, okay, you're brave, beautiful, strong, now stop it. Nobody needs cripples. Nobody needs cripples. Let's be practical about each other, so simple.
So let's be practical. How can, in our society these days, men support women and women support men? What would be the most natural way?
Most natural way would be to reconsider certain necessities immediately. If I was a king of this world, I would remove necessity from women, necessity to work. Women should only work when they really want to, not because otherwise they get hungry and cannot feed their children. Women should be kept and financed automatically because they are females and they keep our race and our DNA going. Men should make enough to feed the family like it used to be before. And they suddenly, some smart asses came and liberated women and made them slaves too. And now everybody works and still it's not enough. Accountants did their job, It's so easy. Females should do what females are born to do, And it's not just making children and feeding them, but also most of the kids in old times got their education from the tales, fairy tales, old wisdom that women passed on to each other for centuries and thousands of years, Woman always has been also a symbol of wisdom, And men, yes, they defend, they feed, they bring, they make more babies. As it's supposed to be, Again, simple. We should stop having accountants ruling us, Go back to the real necessities. Add another zero to the money, make it more worthy then, But somebody is always interested in keeping people dependent and poor and desperate. Let's find them and get rid of them. And then heal the world. I'm ready.
I'm also ready. And let's see who else is ready.
Most importantly, when we are talking about politics and geopolitics and everything, always somebody there has a plan, and most of these plans fail in the end. They all have failed. All the empires, Chinese, ancient Roman, Soviet Union, now, United States, they will all implode at some point. They can't sustain themselves. There is only one plan that you can trust. Divine plan. It never fails. Whether we like it or not, but it never fails. That's what I trust. Divine plan. And when you work with a divine plan, you're invincible.
So what is real trust?
I trust divine plan.
So trusting divine plan is true trust.
Yeah. If you trust the divine plan, then you know that nothing can happen by accident. It's all a plan. You're part of it.
So is everything guided in a sense or planned out in a sense then?
No. There is no plan, there is a direction. And in this direction, in this river, things will happen as we flow.
And we all have our own responsibilities there.
First of all, to ourselves and then to everything else. Because sick cow gives sick milk. If you're not in the best shape of yourself, what are you giving? Begin from yourself. So you asked me what I think and what would be my prediction about the current Earth's future and stuff. I've been prophetic since I was born. I was born with this ability. And one thing that it has proved me is don't predict anything because people will hate it. People will hate the truth. And the more truthful you are, the more they hate it because they don't want to hear the truth. They are operating from the untruth. You know, all these wars today, all these oppositions to each other, it's all about who wants somebody else's money. It's so vulgar and low as that. There is nothing high and beautiful. And when I predict things today, they hate it because some of them know already that I'm right, but they still hope to make that last quick money before it all collapses. And when it comes true, they hate me again because I was right and they were not. So they hate you twice. You know, that's why I say that I rather trust the divine plan because God is never wrong. You know, God is never, Creator is never wrong. Things will happen. Yes, I know what they will be, but you don't like to hear this. It's better to keep some things unsaid. There are great guys out there, the same Jeffrey Sachs. Very clever guy. Very clear. Everything he says, it's so understandable and clear. I'm sure they hate him because he's right, you know. And I've said these things for years and years and years in America and also in Estonia to Estonian leaders. They don't want to hear it because they feed from the lies. That's their life. There are no honest politicians in the world. They all lie. That's the truth, you know. That's why the biggest goodness today can be done secretly. If you go in anywhere and try to make something right, you get so many enemies immediately who either stop you or kill you, you know, because it's not their plan. So it's a good question. Thank you for the question. But trust me, things will be all right. Things will be all right. But let's all make a surprised face when it happens. Like, wow, who would know, you know? Once people really decide that they want to turn this earth back into the paradise, what it used to be, it's doable. Still, it's doable. We have know-how, we have knowledge, we have so many good things. We can turn this earth back into paradise. No, maybe not in 5, but in 10 years for sure. We just need to give up all the wrong things and do all the right things and agree upon it, you know. That's all it takes, really. Or other choices, which is more likely, is that our guys come from Nibiru and replace humans from the earth as a species gets completely wiped out and replaced by another species. And world will be only grateful, getting rid of people. Mm-hmm.
Who are those guys from Nibiru?
Those who put us here, you know, because we are not irreplaceable as a species. All it takes is, and we'll be gone. And they will put other species here who is more harmonious, you know, with the rest of the species around us. We are not the only ones. Every little living creature around us is part of our life. And we are killing them by millions every day, you know. Why? Because we're stupid. Only because. And if we prove to our creators that we are hopeless as a case, they remove us. It takes seconds to remove us.
Can you open up more about how they put us here and what is the backstory of it?
They we, when we came to this planet, when we did anthropogenesis and created ourselves onto this planet, initially we came onto this planet because we loved it. It was beautiful, lush, great, We put ourselves here as an adventure. But little by little, people lost sense of humor and playfulness. And once you start taking some things too seriously, you also start limiting and editing and censoring, and how it's going right now. Certain words are even forbidden from the dictionary already, and woke has grown already over our ears and eyes, Why? Because a bunch of stupid people simply are unable and unwilling to educate themselves. They were born into the garbage can already, garbage bin, So our creators, those who we used to be and those who we are partly, can decide that we are not doing a great job here on this planet. We are only turning it into next Mars. I'm 100% sure that Mars used to be like Earth before people came onto it and turned it into today's Mars. 100%. And now they are discovering, there were oceans and beaches on the planet Mars. Oh my God, we're discovering, scientists. They are still on the binocular phase. They haven't yet reached the telescope, so they are just learning slowly. We can turn this Earth into the Mars or back into the paradise. It's our choice. Most likely, we will destroy it. Most likely.
So is this like the most critical question that everybody should ask?
Yeah.
From themselves.
Do we want to die or not? Hopi prophecy described all these things 1,000 years ago. Everything we've done so far, all the mistakes we've made so far, they described it. And they said, then another 100 years and you will have a choice again, and you again will make a wrong choice. Destructive choice, negative choice. Finally, we get to the point where you have internet, you have electricity. They described it all 1,000 years ago in the cave.
So in a sense, we are right now on this critical point that we just need to make a decision and the correct
and
one.
then they said, 1,000 years ago, they said, and we know that 1,000 years from now, you will go onto the moon. Please don't bring any soil back from the moon, because it will contain viruses that you cannot control. Chinese just brought soil from the moon. COVID comes from China. Moon soil comes from China. And for these guys, when they come out to destroy the mankind, completely wipe out a few days, when aliens decide to get rid of the mankind, it's few seconds.
But what happens to our soul or our consciousness after that?
We go back up there and start figuring out where we fucked up. And how do we get back into the game now? Who will take us? Nobody wants us because we screwed up. We are losers. Nobody wants us. Like these guys who fly around on these flying saucers, big, sad eyes with no penis, and thinking, where did we go wrong? Why nobody wants us? We are so intelligent, but why are we so unhappy and lost? That's where we are going right now with artificial intelligence, with our cosmic programs, with all the science that we are glorifying, that this is better than real nature. It's not. It's a trap. And once we're there one day in this flying little disc, we'll realize that we're screwed. We're homeless now. All you have is that disc. We had a great planet. We screwed it up. Who's next? Nobody wants us anymore. Damn. It sounds funny, to talk as a human here. We have blood and we feel pain still. We have feelings and things. But this is true. This is a blessing to be a human. It's not a blessing to become a biorobot. It's not. But they are selling us this concept as something really cool. So cool. Matrix. Yep. It's that simple.
We should really think now. What do we want?
Yeah. Everything else, the wars and things, it's all about minerals. It's all about, the stuff in the ground. It's all about, ultimately, again, about money.
The sources, the resources.
Resources. And selling them, to somebody, But once it's sold, it's gone. And that only depletes the earth, makes it thinner and thinner, weaker and weaker. It's the same as selling your organs. I can live with one kidney, but I got the laptop for my kidney. Yeah, you live with one kidney and one leg and one eye. But what life is it? What's more worth? What's more valuable? Yeah. And then you have all this pile, $100 billion there. And next thing, you get a little bacteria or a virus. And next thing, you have this dead body with a name tag to your big toe. And you never lived, really. Your life was unlived. All you did all your life was trying to get more money into one big pile. You know those people too. I have clients who are billionaires. I don't envy them. There are so many people who we know personally who have so much money. And they are the unhappiest people on the planet. It doesn't make them happy. Something else is where happiness really lies. It's the fear of the future, just in case I need more. Otherwise, maybe one day I will have nothing. No, you lose faith, you become spiritual homeless, you become blinded by fear. That's what Hopi prophecy says. The world right now is in a place where the river has going. Jump in the middle, trust the river and flow with it, not against it. Don't hold on to something. Go, be part of the river. That may save us, This is where your power is, in your faith.
Do you have a final message, or maybe your spirits have a final message for all the listeners and watchers of our podcast?
Message is that trust yourself, trust the divine plan, never stop dreaming, never get old, and never lose your sense of humor. Don't be a self-destructive idiot. Be happy.
This is very powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for asking all these questions. It's good to remind myself too these things every now and then.
Thank you, Tarmo.
My pleasure.
It's an honor to have this conversation, and it really warms my heart.